Don't cry, the London Mafia boss found his fiancée begging on the street. The rain-soaked streets of Mayfair had never looked more cruel. Alessandro Dante, the most feared Mafia boss in London, froze mid-step when he saw her, his fiancée, Isabella, the woman who'd vanished 3 years ago on their wedding day, now sitting on the cold pavement with a cardboard sign and trembling hands. Alessandro couldn't breathe. His £10,000 Tom Ford suit felt suddenly suffocating as he stared at the fragile woman huddled against the brick wall of an alley near his luxury casino. Her once vibrant auburn hair hung in matted strands around her hollow cheeks. The emerald eyes that used to light up when she played violin at the Royal Opera House now stared blankly at passing shoes. Isabella, his voice cracked, a sound his enemies had never heard. She looked up slowly and recognition flickered across her face before terror replaced it. She scrambled backward, her thin frame shaking. "Please, don't hurt me, I'll leave, I'm sorry." Alessandro's heart shattered. 3 years ago she disappeared hours before their wedding. No note, no trace. He turned London upside down, used every resource in his criminal empire, interrogated everyone she knew. Nothing. He'd assumed the worst, that a rival family had taken her, killed her. He'd waged wars over her ghost. And here she was, begging on the street like she was afraid of him. His second-in-command, Marco, appeared at his shoulder. "Boss, the meeting with the Russians." "Cancel everything," Alessandro commanded, never taking his eyes off Isabella. He crouched down slowly, removing his coat. "Bella, Tesoro, it's me. I'm not going to hurt you. I've been looking for you." She flinched when he draped the coat around her shoulders. I can't go back. They'll find me. They'll kill my mother." Alessandro's jaw clenched. Who? In his penthouse overlooking the Thames, Alessandro watched Isabella devour a bowl of soup with shaking hands. His chef had prepared a feast, but she could barely keep anything down. She was malnourished, clearly traumatized. It took everything in him not to rage at whoever had done this to her. "Start from the beginning," he said gently, sitting across from her, maintaining distance so she wouldn't feel trapped. Isabella set down the spoon, tears streaming down her face. "The morning of our wedding, I received a video, my mother, tied to a chair. Your cousin, Vittorio, was holding a gun to her head." Alessandro's blood turned to ice. Vittorio, his own cousin who'd always been jealous of his position, who'd been banished from the family 2 years ago for stealing from their operations. "He said if I married you, he'd kill her. If I told you anything, he'd kill her. I had to disappear and never contact anyone from my old life." Isabella's voice broke. "I've been living in shelters, doing odd jobs for cash, moving every few weeks. Vittorio has people everywhere. 3 months ago, my mother died of a heart attack while still in captivity. He called to tell me, laughing, said I'd sacrificed everything for nothing." She dissolved into sobs and Alessandro couldn't maintain his distance anymore. He moved to her side, pulling her into his arms. She stiffened initially, then collapsed against him, 3 years of anguish pouring out. "I lost everything," she whispered. "My music, my life, I lost you and now I have nothing. I couldn't even keep myself alive properly. I'm so weak, Alessandro. I couldn't save her. I couldn't fight back. I just survived." "You did what you thought would save your mother," Alessandro said fiercely, tilting her chin up. "That's not weakness, Isabella, that's love, but now Vittorio is a dead man." Isabella recovered slowly over the next 2 weeks. Alessandro hired doctors, therapists, and kept her in his secured penthouse. He also unleashed hell trying to locate Vittorio, but his traitorous cousin had gone underground, knowing his crime would mean death. Isabella began playing violin again, hesitantly at first, on the antique instrument Alessandro had kept in her old room, preserved exactly as she'd left it. The music was haunting, full of pain, but it was healing her. Alessandro would stop whatever he was doing, counting money, planning operations, negotiating with other families, just to listen. "You kept everything," she said one evening, finding her closet full of clothes, her jewelry box, even her favorite tea. "I never stopped believing I'd find you," Alessandro admitted. I thought I'd find your body, not you alive and suffering when I could have prevented it." Their reunion was tender but complicated. Isabella had trauma that made physical intimacy difficult. Some nights she woke screaming, other times she couldn't stand to be touched. Alessandro, used to taking what he wanted, learned patience. He courted her again, flowers, dinner by candlelight, slow dances in the living room while rain pattered against floor-to-ceiling windows. "I'm broken," she told him one night. "You should find someone else, someone strong, someone worthy of being by your side." Alessandro cupped her face. You survived 3 years of hell alone, you're the strongest person I know, and you're still the only woman I want. But danger was closing in. The attack came during a charity gala at the Tate Modern. Alessandro had convinced Isabella to accompany him, her first public appearance. She wore a stunning red gown, her hair styled elegantly, though she still looked too thin. When she performed a violin solo for the guests, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. That's when the lights went out. Gunfire erupted. Alessandro immediately shielded Isabella, dragging her behind a pillar while his men returned fire. In the chaos, someone grabbed Isabella from behind. "Miss me, dear cousin," Vittorio's voice hissed in Alessandro's ear over the screams. He was dragging Isabella toward a service exit, a gun to her temple. Alessandro's men had their weapons trained on Vittorio, but the shot was too risky with Isabella in the way. "Let her go," Alessandro said, his voice deadly calm even as panic clawed at his chest. "This is between us." "Everything I did was to hurt you," Vittorio snarled. "You always had everything, power, respect her. I took her from you once, I'll take her permanently this time." "No," Isabella suddenly drove her elbow back into Vittorio's ribs. In his surprise, his grip loosened just enough. She dropped to the floor. Alessandro's shot was instantaneous. Vittorio fell, a red stain blooming on his chest. Marco and the others rushed forward to secure him while Alessandro fell to his knees beside Isabella. "I'm okay," she gasped. "I'm okay. I was tired of being helpless. I was tired of being afraid." Alessandro pulled her into his arms, not caring who saw the feared Mafia boss with tears in his eyes. "Dio mio, Bella, you could have been killed." "So could you," she said softly. "And I couldn't lose you again." 6 months later, Isabella stood in a private garden in the English countryside, wearing an ivory wedding gown. This time, no threats loomed. Vittorio was dead. Isabella's trauma was healing with therapy and Alessandro's unwavering support. She'd even started teaching violin to underprivileged children, her way of reclaiming the music that had been stolen from her. Alessandro, in a perfectly tailored suit, watched her walk down the aisle with tears in his eyes. She was still fragile in some ways, still recovering. But she was also fierce, brave, and his. "I, Isabella Rose Martinez, take you, Alessandro Dante," she said, her voice steady. "Through darkness and light, through every fear and every joy, you found me when I was lost. You loved me when I was broken, and you waited when I needed time to heal." "I, Alessandro Dante, take you, Isabella Rose Martinez," he responded, his voice thick with emotion. "I will protect you, cherish you, and stand beside you through every battle. You are my heart, my conscience, my redemption. 3 years of hell couldn't keep us apart, nothing ever will." When they kissed, it was soft, sweet, and full of promise. The guests, a mix of Alessandro's dangerous associates and Isabella's music world friends, erupted in applause. At the reception, as Isabella played violin while Alessandro watched from their sweetheart table, his hand over hers, Marco leaned over. "Boss, the shipment from..." "Tomorrow," Alessandro interrupted, never taking his eyes off his wife. "Tonight, I'm just a man in love." Isabella set down her violin and crossed to him, extending her hand. "Dance with me." Alessandro pulled her close, swaying to music only they could hear. In her ear, he whispered, "Don't cry, amore mio, you're home now." "I'm not crying," Isabella said, even as tears slipped down her cheeks. "These are happy tears. I never thought I'd feel safe enough for happy tears." As they danced under twinkling lights, the Mafia boss and his once-lost love knew that while their story had been written in tragedy, it would end in triumph. Because some loves are worth fighting for, worth surviving for, worth finding your way back from the brink for. And theirs was eternal. Some bonds can't be broken by time, trauma, or even family betrayal. Alessandro and Isabella's love survived the impossible, proving that sometimes the weakest become the strongest, and the most powerful learn that true strength is found in gentleness, patience, and the courage to love despite everything.